It's an honor to be sitting next to someone who personified, in my opinion, baseball. Hustle. A lot of people never ever get the ability to be over in our wrestling business in two towns, New York and Philadelphia. Beloved Lenny Dykstra. Nails, the man.
Tommy Dreamer, man.
As a Mets fan, this is an honor to be here. So Rod Carew, your favorite player, you grew up an Angels fan?
Yeah, not really a fan. I was just a fan of him. I mean, I was more a fan of myself.
Total baseball fanatic.
Yeah, I just knew I was going to play in the big leagues because it's, like I had that rare ability to get to first, hit second, hit third, and score. And I mean, I wasn't supposed to make it to the big leagues, and that's why the fans rooted for me, and they love the underdog here, and especially in New York and Philly.
Yep.
And by the way, that being said, I consider myself very blessed to play in New York and Philly, opposed to LA, where like in the seventh inning you have a great game going, all you see is backs, people walking out, players. So let's do the math. They're making almost $700,000 every 2 weeks.
Right.
And they're average players. So they're thinking of the most valuable commodity I know of is information. So to get information, I pay a lot of money for that. In fact, to get information on the umpires, I paid $500,000.
That's something we need to discuss about.
Yeah, because, I mean, like they control your life.
You had a complete conspiracy about the umpires, and you spent a lot of money about that.
Right, and it wasn't a coincidence I led the league in walks the next 2 years.
So you think they
well, I don't think
they helped you?
Well, I mean, fear does a lot to a man.
Nice.
Like, I mean,
He talked about smoking weed while playing in the minors. He spoke about
Keith Richards?
no, he didn't talk
Blow?
about Keith Richards.
No, it's the blow.
Okay, no, he didn't talk about that.
Well, he did a lot of blow.
All right. Well, he had to go to his book. He's his book, and this is how you're going to get your next #1 bestseller.
First guy's in, and you kind of set the tone for other guys to follow you.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. See, I did that too, but see, I always got in trouble because I'm a weak man, and pussy wowould always end up getting in the way.
I hear you.
But it's not just me. Countries, empires are falling.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
I mean, but it makes me make.
There's certain bricks of my empire that's falling.
It makes you make bad decisions.
I hear you.
Yeah, so I'm trying to.
Most people, when they'll
that.
say, "What's your thing? Is it drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it pussy?" And whenever you say if it's girls, people say that's just as worse.
I say, like, what's going on? This guy pops off to me. I said, excuse me? He said something. I said, who the fuck are you? He said, who the fuck are you? I said, you know who I am? I'm your worst fucking nightmare. That's who I am. You know why? You want to know why?
Why?
Because I don't give a fuck. When you've been where I've been and seen what I've seen and know what I know, it doesn't matter. So what are you going to do to me that hasn't been done to me?
Right.
I got all my teeth knocked out in prison. In fact, I have a big decision to make right now. So, like, the chick looked at me and she laughed at me.
Whoa.
I took a picture in my mind. I had that picture. So, I will beg, borrow, and steal before I get humiliated like that again.
Well, there's Cialis, Viagra. They're making medicine or
Then
hell of a pitcher.
And my second hit was a base hit, and Pete Rose was playing first. And Pete said, I got the first. Said, congratulations, kid. You only got 4,000 to go to catch me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Pete Rose. But the problem is, when you get into baseball, like, I have a big issue with the Hall of Fame. Like, what's the threshold that makes somebody a bad enough person not to get in the Hall of Fame? Why are the 3 best players in the history of baseball not in the Hall of Fame? Bonds, Clemens, Pete Rose. Pete Rose will never get in the Hall of Fame.
No.
Because they blame him for Bart Giamatti's death. He owned us. If we get to Game 7, we're done. So Nepper is one hit over. He's throwing a one-hitter through 8 innings. One hitter. We're losing 3-0. Davey Johnson walks up to me and says, "You're leading off the 9th." I said, "Really?"
Pinch it?
Yeah. I said, "Really? You finally want to fucking win, huh?"
Nice.
Okay. So what I do, I hit a triple. Okay. And that triple started the rally that ended up going like 17 innings, and that's not happened. Like, we'd hit a home run, the curtain calls, they were exciting. People watched the games, they were into the games, there was personality, there was young players, there was over. Now it's like Disneyland when you go there. Like, no one watches the game.
I was there last night. I agree. Well, it's also winning is a lot different than losing or what you put out on the field. A lot of it, too, like you were saying before, it's entertaining, and you guys were all characters. You were all characters, but you also all played. It was when all these characters got together.
Yeah, that's a great.
You were winners.
That's a great. I give you credit for picking that up, because that team had the greatest blend of young and veteran players, and we came together. There was always a different player picking us up, and when each night it would be a different guy to help us win a game.
I always say any championship team needs the veterans, who are the guys say, hey, you're messing up here, or hey, do that. Guys in their prime, and rookies who are hungry to almost take those veterans' jobs.
Right. So Keith Hernandez and Gary Carter were two leaders.
Right.
Like Gary Carter, I sat next to him in a locker for 6 years. I watched him strap it on, took no drugs, never drank. I couldn't get him ever to go out. Like,
Family guy.
I can sell ice up like an Eskimo. I couldn't get him to go out one time. Meaning, he lived. Like, he's the kind of guy you want your kid to grow up to be like.
Nice.
He said, "I'm not going to let you die." So I named him Dr. God after that.
Nice.
So the next morning, like, I'm in.
You were taking 30 Vikes a day, you said?
30, 35 minimum.
I know guys who were taking 90.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
See, because what happens is once you cross that line, now you're in the same car, going down the same road, okay, with the same destination. You want to get there faster? Take heroin. But eventually, you're going to get to that same destination, which is a dead end.
And most people don't realize why, like you said, you're making $6 million a year. You're trying to get that money. You took one pill, and you're like, whoa, I can play again. I'm not hurt.
Right.
And you were beat up at this point. You pretty much broke your back.
Yeah, I mean, I was beat up, and the thing is I did the one pill and the one drink, I let off.
Yeah.
So I was good. Okay. But then it's 2, then it's 3.
You know, now they say, because there's 20 years of study, that pain pills, Vicodins, Somas, all that stuff actually cause pain in your body.
Absolutely. So you know where
So you always kind of need that.
So you know where I learned, you know where I found out the pain pill that helped me the most? In prison. I was in prison, and this doctor, so he writes me a prescription, says go to Rite Aid, fill it, come back, and I'll show you how to do it. And I said, what do you mean do it? He said, we'll talk about that later. So I get in Rite Aid, lay in line, he writes me for Decadurabolin. I go back to his office, he takes out a fucking harpoon, okay, puts it in my ass, I hire a trainer, work my ass off.
Also, steroids are not legal.
As a commissioner, and then the guy that took Pete Rose out, which was Dowd. Right. And then the head of security, Kevin Hallahan, he's the one that pulled me aside and said, just be honest, and that we know you don't. And Billy Bean, who's probably, I think, the best general manager to be a general manager because of how he won. He had just got named general manager of Oakland. So he was at the World Series, and he called me up and he said, I want to have lunch with you, which I would never do, but me and him were close. And we sit down, he says, you gave me the recipe. I now know how to win the major leagues. I said, what? He said, you set the tone. And you had the first time in history, 4 guys walked 100 times. Now, Hollins was a little short of 100, but because I took a lot of pitches and all that, that was the way he kind of like did Moneyball.
Right.
And there's comments about it. It's not me saying it.
The whole on-base percentage thing.
Well, just the whole thing about fear of failure, you know? I mean, look, you're out there for 2.5 hours. If you can't bust your ass for 2.5 hours, like when I see somebody not run out of ball, I'm in their face, okay? But to understand something else about baseball, there's a certain mentality it takes because it's all or nothing. So each night, 4 or 5 times as a hitter, you're going to have the ultimate high or the ultimate low. And so when you make an out, which you're going to do more than not, you got to walk the gauntlet. You got to make the right turn. You got to walk down the dugout. Your teammates it's like you're a Russian spy. No one says nothing. What are they gonna say? Good job. You're gonna fight them. What's the good job? You just made it out. So like you got to walk the gauntlet. You got to put your helmet in. The coaches look at him. There he is. There's that motherfucker. And you feel it's like an all-time low. And then you get a hit. I'm real. I'm raw. I'm open. And I think that the biggest thing I can do is give people hope. Because if I can get back and fight back from where I came from, because remember, I sunk lower than them.
Right.
Okay? And America loves a comeback story, but they only love a comeback story if you're brutally honest. Okay? So I do a lot of shit in this book, okay? I mean, not like Ozzy Osbourne type of eat shit, but didn't he do that?
No, he snorted piss, but kind of.
Okay, whatever, something like that.